Is it? It's. I mean, this is probably a weird question, but is it? How is it to eat laying?
I'm sure if you ask it that way, it will be weird.
I mean, eating laying down seems. Can you imagine how strange it would seem to me? Think of how strange it would seem to me.
And not to me.
Of course not, because you do it. But
I do it all the time. I
what?
like to lie down.
You always lie down when you eat.
No, not always, but my wheelchair, you notice, lies back.
I didn't notice that.
Well, later you'll notice that it lies backwards, and therefore I can lie partway down when I eat.
It seems that if you lay
Hey, Jeff,
back like
is there
that,
more?
it seems that if you
Okay.
lay back when you eat like that, you could choke on stuff, and
Well,
you know what I mean.
it's always possible to choke.
I mean, it seems scary.
Well, you know what's more scary is that the portable respirators are possible. See, I have two different kinds of respirators. Spit myself. Um, and the one I use when I'm sitting up, it blows air into my lungs.
Yeah.
And so that once in a while blows food down.
Yeah.
So that I do choke. So I have to be very controlled. If I start to choke, I have to know quickly
No, quickly, I would
and
think
stop
so.
myself from choking. And gradually, using my throat muscles, work whatever it is that's choking me out of the way.
How often does this happen, Ed?
Oh, once a week or so.
God, it's scary. Sounds scary.
Well, if I was really scared of it, I don't think I'd do very well. You know, what you do is you learn quickly to take control
Yeah.
of the situation, and once you've got control of it, then you
Yeah.
have to be a little bit patient and work it up, whatever it is. Well, kind of,
I want to do that again about scary, because he was not shooting, and
okay, sure.
we were talking about how scary it was choking, and then you said about a lot of things.
Well, choking is just a part of life, and there are a lot of things in your life that are scary, and when you don't breathe on your own, and when there are all kinds of other parts of your body that don't work super well, I was told that I'd probably never go outside.
Never go outside.
Well, being on a respirator, you could die anytime. And I don't have a backup with me. I just have a respirator with me. And I said, well, if you're going to make a choice between life, without being able to go outside or being so protecting yourself that all you can think of is what might happen to you, you won't have much of a life, so you got to learn how to take risk. You've got to learn that whatever that next risk is, take it, and you try not to risk your life, but you do know that it's there. And at any time you can stop breathing, or the respirator could go out, but it's worth it to take that risk and go out and participate in life, and to do what you need to do, and to live your life as fully as possible. And who knows what that is? In the beginning, people told me I had no life, because I had polio in '53, and to people that were there, that was the scariest thing. To the doctors, to the nurses, to the people I was around, they kept telling me there was no life left. And yet when I discovered it wasn't really my looking and seeing what I could do. It was basically their own fears about what they thought it was like to be severely disabled and not be able to breathe. It's not been like that.
It sounds.
Okay. Yeah, just a bit. There you go.
I mean, I take risks, and I think I'm probably more risk taking than most people I know. But
But think of the consequences of not taking.
of course,
I mean, virtually staying in your home all the time, and not having a life that is entertaining and bright. I mean, there are people that can't get out of their home at all, who have environmental diseases, or who have paralysis that endangers their life if they move too much. Say a brain tumor or something along that line. And what I had to learn was that I first believed what they were telling me.
Of course. They're the professionals.
Yes, well, they are the right people, and later I began to discover that it was really their problem, and I had to decide what I was buy into. I mean, the chances of me dying out in the community are very small compared to living and getting help and going on. Uh, I don't just die immediately because I can do what's called frog breathing.
What's that?
Well, it's something I should demonstrate to you when I'm not in a lung, but see my neck? See under there?
Yeah.
Well, no, watch. I'm going to start frog breathing. So it's actually swallowing air into my lungs without. So if my respirator would go out, say I was on the airplane at 35,000 feet or something, I
Has that
could.
ever happened?
Yes.
Jesus.
It leads me to always carry 2 with me.
2 aspirators with you?
And when I fly internationally, I have 3 with me.
Really?
Unfortunately, they're made worse than Fords and Chevys. And, you wind up.
And they fall down? And they break?
They break like other things, and they're very expensive, and you want to be sure you have them with you. So you can't always get one instantly. I'm a part of a service that provides a 24-hour service, but it may take a while to get here. If you need.
I'm sorry we don't open till 8, sir.
Yeah,
hold your
they don't do
breath.
that. No, they're pretty well oriented to knowing you got to get there. But it still could be an hour, so I can switch over from one lung, from this respirator to the portable respirator if I need. Or if I really need to, I can frog breathe for a couple hours, I'm sure, lately.
Really?
I haven't tested it, but yeah, a couple hours. So that gives me a certain margin of security, and so it gives you a little bit more help in taking that risk and going out and trying what you want to do. I've done some pretty interesting things, like the last thing I did was went swimming with the dolphins.
Went swimming with the dolphins?
With dolphins.
How did you do that, Ed?
Well, they made me a special chair, a floating chair, and I got in it in Florida, and it was wonderful. They're wonderful creatures. They take you to another level of existence almost.
Yeah, but hard to be out there with dolphins when you can't move your arms and legs, Ed. I mean, it's terrifying.
I think you're describing the stereotype of what a lot of people have trouble with in this country.
What's
that? That's seeing someone try to live their own life the way they want. Even though they have disabilities.
I try and live my own life the way I want.
Yeah, so do I.
And I see that. I know that.
But it kind of pisses me off when I hear I'm courageous.
It's like
Maybe that's okay, but I don't see myself that way.
It's like the Callahan cartoon, right?
Yeah.
With the 2 heads, you're an inspiration to me, kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's fine. I don't mind being inspirational, but I also want people and you to understand that everybody has to take some risk in their life to do anything. And it's more important to me to have a life, and a life with quality, than sitting around doing nothing and worrying about my disability, what it might do.
Sure.
And therefore, what people need to learn is that who does what is an amazing issue. I've had friends around me who've died because they gave up and they just decided they wanted to die.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's one of the nice things I've learned is that your mindset, or how you feel about yourself, about your future can create a lot, or it can destroy. And when you have a set that life is awful and there's nothing worth it, there's no worth in living, then you can change your mind and die. And I watched some people die because they wanted to. They didn't want to be disabled. They had a spinal cord injury, or they had polio or other disabilities, very severe. And once they made up their mind to die, that was so powerful to me. And it didn't take long. They died. And once in a while, we could intervene and save their lives. But there are people all over this country right now choosing death over life. And they're choosing it because they're caught in old stereotypes about what it means to have a severe disability. In fact, if you ask them what their dreams are, they want to live in the community. They want to go on with their life, but nursing homes and institutions are so awful, so
Somebody making money, that's
so
why.
isolating, and
Yeah.
so now that people think they have to die rather than live that life. What we have to do, and is we have to reorganize our whole medical system and take money out of the old ways of putting people away. And we have to learn to help people take care of themselves. And independence is a psychological concept. It's not a physical concept. You got to believe in yourself. And once you begin to believe in yourself, you begin to find lots of ways to become more independent, or live your life the way you want to live it. And we have to abolish those old institutions like nursing homes and state hospitals and move that money
Did you know that?
back in the community for quality of life. Because I live a real quality of my life. I mean, you met my son, he's 15, and
Yep.
he's one of the best things that ever happened to me. And
You wouldn't think that you could have a son. I mean that
because
because you're disabled, because you can't move your arms and legs, because you breathe on a respirator, you would think that you can't have a son. I mean, I would.
well, obviously it's wrong.
Obviously, it's
And
wrong.
the next question.
The next question
The
is.
next question is, did you adopt him? Because there is a prevailing attitude out there that if you have children somehow and you have a disability, it's not possible. They don't connect. Having kids, taking care of kids, doing that. In my case, being father is a role that we can play. Of course we can.
You love being a father. I know that.
Oh, it's the favorite thing in my life, I think, and it's so important. It's been so important to my own personal growth to be a dad. I mean, and sometimes we forget that how much we learn. I mean, one thing he taught me: you're dad. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're deaf or blind or
Yeah.
you're paralyzed with a neck down. I mean, it was such a. There was no question in his mind that I'm dad. It's interesting. There might be in other people's minds, but that's not my problem. That's their problem.
Yeah.
It's very important to separate what's your problem from what is society's problem.